People that don't know, could you tell them who are you, what's your name, how you, like where you come from, and that stuff?
Sure. My name is Abraham Thomas. I'm originally from India, and it's a country way out there in Asia. And I moved to U.S. in Houston, Texas in 1981. And I went to high school there and graduated from high school there and went to University of Houston. And now I'm living in Lubbock, Texas for the last probably since 2003.
That's right. Okay, so what is it exactly that you do as of right now? Like, what's your occupation?
I have several businesses, but right now what I'm actively doing is I'm a home builder, and so I build homes.
So in the business world, how did you become how did you get into the world of business?
I was quite young when I first started my first business, and I did medical consulting, and that was back in 1993. And so I would just get in and take care of doctors. And so I would set up their practice, I would manage their practice, and it was something that I've always wanted to be ever since I was a little kid. I can remember being in 4th grade saying I want to be a businessman. I want to own my own business. And as I grew older, I didn't understand what that was when I was saying that. But it was just because my friends' dads were business owners, and I hung out with them and kind of liked how their lifestyle was. And so that's what I kind of emulated. And so I ended up thinking about business throughout my youth. And then, after college, I decided, I was going to go work for somebody, learn, get my experience. And eventually in 1993, I started my own small consulting company and worked for a consulting company like that. And then in 96, I branched out and I became my own businessman.
Okay, so in today's world, there's a lot of people that's coming up. They want to be businessmen, just like how you were a couple years back. So could you be able to tell them the steps they need to take and like what it takes to be a businessman? Like a lot of people think it's too hard to become one. So could you break it down and tell them the steps that you have to take in order to be in the position you are today?
Sure. I mean, if you think about being a businessman, it's no different than you working for somebody. Because if you're working for somebody, whether your job is as a secretary, whether your job is as a engineer or a doctor, you're working for a hospital or a company or for a person like me, and if I have a secretary. So, you have to understand when you're in that position, you are responsible for your own time. And so in a microcosm, that's just a business that you are handling as an employee. But what transitioned you out into becoming a business owner is a desire to then say, I want to be in charge of where my life is going to be. And so you have to figure out what is it that you want to be. And so for me, I just knew working in the medical field, I was going to transition into becoming a consultant. And so I decided to start my own consulting company. And then when I did that, I had clients that I already had that was going to work with me. And so I started that business. Now, starting a business, it takes up a lot of your, finances, resources, and it takes a lot of courage because you're out there all by yourself. Nobody's going to write you a paycheck. You have to earn that paycheck now. You don't get to sign in on a clock in time and then say, I worked 8 hours, I got to get paid. No, as a business owner, you have to decide, did you earn that dollar today? Because someone else is going to write that check for you. And whether it's a business of having a grocery store or a business as a air condition repairman or a plumber, or in my case, as a consultant. You have to do your service right. And so for me, owning a business was something that I knew I was going to do. So there's a lot of steps to it, and we can address that at another time, but you know, there's a lot of details of organizing your business through the government entities, like getting a federal ID number, and then setting up a name for your business, getting a lawyer to draw up those paperworks. All those things are part of it. And so I know I'm all over the place within the question you've asked, but I just want to let you know, setting up a business is not easy, but it's not that difficult that you can't get it done easy.